Hello, my friends, and welcome to another Whiskey Review with me, the Whiskey Office. Thank you for joining me, but I don't know what all that was about. Just felt like it. It's another re-review. This is the second part of a series in which I'm doing some re-reviews of whiskies that maybe I was a bit scathing about the first time round. And I wanted to go back to test myself, basically. It's quite simple sometimes. I mean, Arran 10-year-old is a good example. There was reasons I didn't like Arran 10-year-old, and I thought I'll go back test myself again. I reviewed this late in 2020, the first time round, and I just decided. Now, when I say I just decided, I've actually decided this for quite a while. There's a reason in this series why I'm going back to certain ones. There's certain whiskies I've picked out in my head. But I didn't just decide this on a whim. They've been singled out for quite a while for re-reviewing. Arran 10 being one of them. And this is the self-same bottle that I reviewed late December 2020. So it's not a different bottle. I don't think batch variation is going to come into it that much. So I imagine that this is just me and this bottle. You know, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's get into it anyway, shall we? 46% ABV, non-chill filtered, no colour added. Love it. Love it. Orange, sweet malt, honey. Even golden syrup. Freshly cut grass. There are a lot of richer sweet notes in this, but they're all very natural sweet notes. There's absolutely nothing that smells artificial about this. Everything smells very natural about it. And there's a lot of fresh fruit, peach, or fresh, one that I've been using quite a bit lately, apricot. There is fresh fruit there and it's lovely. I really like the nose in this. But then, I've always liked the nose on it. I think the nose on the Arran 10-year-old is fantastic. It's dare I say, classic Scotch malt. There's just an absolute classic feel about it. It doesn't swing to the islands or to Speyside, where Speyside tend to be a little more floral, maybe more honeydew. This. Or island where it be salinity around. This is just, even though Arran is an island, this is just, to me, classic Highland. Good, sweet malt and honey. It is a fantastic nose. Always was. Let's get into the palate, shall we? Sweet and sour. Start, delivery, creamy texture, loads of that fresh orange, peach and apricot. More honey. Hold the bus. Am I enjoying this? Well, I was, but there it is. There it is. When you go, for me, when I go back into this for my third or fourth sip, this is when my relationship with the Arran 10-year-old starts to get a little rocky, shall we say. I know there was a reason why I didn't like this in the past. Without going back and watching my review of it, without going back and reading my tasting notes of it, I knew already that it didn't leave me. Because it's not just Arran 10 I find this in, I found it in other Arran expressions. There's something metallic. I always describe it as bitter. Maybe bitter is the wrong term. but it's just this hot metallic thing right at the back of the palate. Don't get me wrong, for a while there I was really enjoying this. When it was all at the front of the palate, all that fresh fruit, lovely creamy texture. And you know, it's still there, all that creamy texture, all that fresh fruit. But whatever it is that's going on at the back of the palate is enough to put me off this. It really is. It annoys me to say it, because I would love to love this the way everybody else does. And I know I'm not alone in getting that at the back of the palate, because I remember when I described that the first time I reviewed this, people commented and said, I like that thing at the back of the palate. So other people are getting it, and other people enjoy that thing, which is fair enough. It's not for me. It is not for me. So it leads into you get past all that fruit, it leads into a finish that becomes just hot. It's quite a long finish, but it's hot then, and there's the fresh fruit is there, but it's just overplayed by that heat and whatever that metallic thing is that I don't like. I'm adding water to it. It can take it. This just feels like me saying exactly the same things over again. I don't know, because I didn't watch my other review. I didn't read my previous tasting notes. I so hoped when I was doing these tasting notes that that had gone, or my palate had changed or something. To a certain extent, I'm not sorry, for the simple fact that at least I know that my palate has remained much the same. So if it hasn't changed here, then it probably hasn't changed for most of the whiskies that I'm drinking. The whiskies themselves might be changing, I don't know. Maybe the batches of this are slightly different. But I definitely know, as I said, via those comments, that other people were getting that same hot metallic thing right at the back of the palate. Drop of water, let's see what we get. Such a good nose. Such a good nose. Big and fruity. Does water actually bring anything to that? Did it add into it? No, it didn't really. But it just blossoms. The whole thing, just because it's bottled at 46%, because it's very natural, that drop of water just causes it all to break and up, blossom, and anything that was tight or ever so slightly hidden, even though there wasn't, all just reveals itself. Creamy, sweet, honey, honeysuckle, lovely, nice, 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 and then no, it's right at the back of the palate again, and it's just hot still. Oh man. So much to like about this whiskey, but I just cannot get over that heat at the back of the palate. It does. It frustrates me, because I would love to enjoy it. So I'm going to leave it there and we'll move on. Right, yes, I said I maybe seemed a little abrupt there. Why did I say I want to, I'll leave it there and move on? The heat at the back of my palate is still all I'm getting from this. So it's left me incomplete, shall we say. This is 2/3 of a whiskey. The nose is fantastic. The palate is great. It's all about the end of the palate and the finish. So what am I going to suggest to you? Well, I didn't actually have to think about this for long. Anything, and it just happened, this was the handiest one for me to get out of my cabinet. Anything from Linkwood. All of that fruit, and we are into the Speysides, but all of that fruit lovely, fresh, clean. All of what's going on in the Arran, lovely, fresh, clean, sweet, honey, honeysuckle, all of those things. Works very well. In the Arran, that thing at the back of the palate just ruins it for me. Once it gets to there, gone. 2/3 of a whiskey. A full, complete whiskey in Linkwood, in my impression. All of that nice sweetness, etc., etc. But when you get to the back of the palate, it's just creamy, silky, and just, you want to go back for more. I haven't had a Linkwood that I haven't enjoyed. I'm sure they're out there, but they don't do that thing that Arran does. They don't go hot and just slightly off-putting at the back of the palate. That's the way I look at it anyway. So if Arran 10 is your thing, and I know for a fact that a lot of people enjoy Arran 10-year-old, and so they should. So they should. It's only me that doesn't like that. Well, it's not only me. I know there's other people that don't like it, but I certainly don't like that thing where it just goes hot at the back of the palate. So, but if Arran 10 is your thing, or Arran whiskey in general, give Linkwood a go. I think you would enjoy it. I really do. I'm going to leave that at that. I will finish this. I will. As a matter of fact, this bottle could well be finished tonight. I'll put up with the heat. But I'll leave it there and say thank you very much for joining me. Thank you very much to my patrons. Should you wish to join that group, the details are in the video description below, and I will also leave a little link up here for another video just about my patronage. Until the next time, my friends, look after yourselves. Here's to your good health. Cheers.
Hey, thanks for watching my video. Please click and subscribe to be notified of further content.